Hey guys, Mark here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you enjoyed part one. Part two is better. I mean, part one was really good, I think. Just part two, we get into the state of pro mod now and what's going on in the controversy between the big blocks and the small blocks. And I hit Chip with it and ask him his opinion, and he gives me a brutally honest answer, which is great. Then we'll talk about, just, the rest of the season, what their plans are moving forward, some stuff that they've been working on, some corporate sponsorship and that sort of thing, which is awesome. So anyways, enjoy. Again, please, if you like what you see, share, like, and subscribe. I know I have work to do on an editing standpoint. I'm not an editor. I wire boats. So anyways, I'm trying my best. Maybe if this grows and takes off, I can hire somebody to do that kind of stuff, and that would be really cool. And then the quality would get a whole lot better. And I apologize for the quality, but I think it's the message that really counts. So anyways, thank you. Like, subscribe. Here we go. But I'm sure, like you say, having your dad there and being in the situations that he's been in, I'm sure that even if you don't know it, he probably taught you a lot of stuff along the way. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So yeah. Now, lots of stuff going on in Pro Mod. Everybody's fired up a little bit over the big blocks versus small blocks and stuff like that. What's your take on that, Chip?
Well, my take on it is we've been working on some stuff for a couple years now. And as I said earlier, our work situation, we haven't had as much time to devote to that as we should. But, I mean, in my eyes, I think what these guys are doing is awesome.
Yeah.
Everybody else is stuck in the 90s with these, these factory ECUs, and nobody's really pushing the limits like Dave and Brett and those guys are. I mean, you ain't going to go to NHRA and run no pro stock race from the bike from 1992.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
possible.
Yeah,
Not
that's a perfect analogy.
I mean, essentially, Mark, that's what we're doing here with all this old, all this old technology, you know? Yeah. So what those guys have done is, I think it's great. And for everybody else who's not on that level, they need to step their game up. And that's what we're doing. I mean, we want to step our game up. And right now, we're going to go run with what we got because it is what we got. We're still stuck in the 90s too, you know what I mean? But we're working on some stuff that, matter of fact, I was on the phone with Dave Bush last night for an hour and a half talking about what he's doing and what we're doing. And we want to take it to the next level. It's like the thing with the crankshaft. I think that's going to be something that's going to help the longevity of the motors. They're going to make more power and they're going to be smoother, So, that wasn't my first goal. My first goal was the other project that we're working on, which is fuel injection stuff, standalone with some really, really cool stuff and pro stock stuff.
Sure.
I'm trying to take a lot of the stuff, what I learned racing pro stock, and apply it to what we're doing here. So yeah, I think it's great. I think that you got to move this sport forward
100%.
And everybody's got to be willing. But see, here's the thing. I think that once Dave, because he's going to be the guy, he's already there. Mm-hmm. Once he gets this stuff where you and I can buy it and we can plug it right into our boat with some sort of wiring harness in a reluctor wheel, where we can all tune our boats and see good data, it's gonna take it to the next level, because I think the engines are good. Yeah. They're not making the power like those big Johnsons are and whatnot, or the Mercury 2.5s.
Yeah.
There's cubic inches isn't there, but man, I applaud those guys. I mean, I'm like on board 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I think my take on it is that, and I don't have a knife in this fight by any means, but my take on it is that it's been in the rules that you've been allowed to do that, and nobody has capitalized on it. So, and I also feel that the Johnsons and the Evinrudes, the big blocks, quote unquote big blocks, I guess you could call them, are actually racing at a little bit heavier weight. So, I mean, I think if somebody brings a Merc, like a Dave Bush level Merc with a standalone and individual cylinder timing control and fuel control at that level at 1,250 pounds, that's going to be a bad hombre. You know what I'm saying? So.
I agree with you 100%, and I'm the guy that wants to bring it, you know. Yeah. But right now we're working on what we can work on and what we have time to work on. I mean, so you know, the first thing we got to work on for us to make it to Pro Mod is for McKenzie to be able to drive the boat. And when I say drive the boat, I don't just mean drive the boat. She's got to be comfortable in it. Of
course. Yeah.
She needs to go out there. We got to make laps and get her seat time. I'm not going to the one thing that I'm not going to do is put her in a situation where she's not comfortable.
Of course, yeah.
Possibly hurt herself or hurt somebody else.
Of
so
course, yeah.
When we're ready, we'll make the step to Pro Mod, and until that time, we'll run the boat at 1,400 pounds or 1,430, whatever.
Sure.
Whatever class is available for that. Mm-hmm. And when she's ready, then we're going to get in Pro Mod, and I think we'll do okay.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
One of the biggest issues that we have is our boat's not a drag; it's a river racer.
Gotcha.
So
getting it down.
You know, the boat already weighs 625 pounds,
sure.
just the boat. Yeah. So that's the other thing that we've really worked on over the winter is getting it lightened up so that we can get down to 1,250 pounds.
Sure. Yeah, I know that's going to be super exciting, and I think there's a lot of people anticipating that, and you guys obviously bring a lot to the sport, you know, just being who you are, and McKenzie being a young lady and that sort of stuff, and the sport needs that. It needs some color, and it needs some controversy, and it needs some stuff. I think, you know, again, I'm pretty new to this sort of stuff, and I don't for 1 second think that I can single-handedly bring outboard drag boat racing back to life, but I really, really like it, and I've been involved in lots of different forms of it. And I think that there's room for improvement, and I just want to do my part to do that. But I think that, again, having you guys, the controversy with what's going on, that's all positive stuff. And I think over the next couple of years, this can start to take back off and be a super cool thing again, because it's very cool, man. It's a cool environment. You know, I like the fact is, you know, as opposed to a racetrack, like, that's cool. I like that it can come into town and race in an open environment and gives the option for townspeople to just come and watch. Do you know what I mean? Like, we race snowmobiles up here a fair bit, and that's the way it always was. And we'd race up into Quebec, and you know, you roll into town for a race, and thousands of people would come to watch that wouldn't normally go to a snowmobile race or a boat race, but it's there, so they're going to go. That's what I liked about it, you know. And wouldn't it be so cool to see some support from the manufacturers again, and the manufacturers midway and that sort of thing start to come to these races? It looked like the race that was it the Ludwigs or something that put on that last NHRA race. Brett had posted a video, and the pits were full, and there was vendors there, and I was like, that's super cool, and I think it can be that again. And I look forward to it being that again, and I hope that it will, you know, and
that's what we're hoping for. You know, like I said, we got to deal with Denso, so that's a major company. Absolutely. That you know, we're going to try to showcase their products, and
sure.
I mean, who better to do it than McKenzie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Being, you know, a young female driver, you know, running in the premier boat racing series, which, I mean, there's several of them out there, and we're starting to see a lot of stuff down here our way. You know, boat counts 40, 50 boats at these little small one-day races, you know, so
yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on down here in the Southeast, and same thing with motorcycles. I mean, this is like Grudge Bike Central over here where we're at. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, I mean, I've always been a fan of class racing. I'm sure you are too, but I see, because I guess I'm trying to kick off this YouTube thing and stuff, and I can't help but notice that, you know, a lot of these pour your own puddle and no prep track backwards type of races and stuff are really taking off, and the fan base is coming out, and these guys are creating these YouTube channels, and they're blowing up, and it seems to almost be bringing that spark back to drag racing again. Like it or not, it's here, and it's big, you know, and I think it'd be very cool to see, you know, like say outboard drag boat racing sort of take off that very same way, you know what I mean? Anyways, we'll see, keep scratching away at it from up here and see what we can do. So yeah, that's cool.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're just scratching away at it, and you know, we don't have any expectations. We just want to go have fun, and that's the thing for us. You know, we go to the racetrack, we get to see all our friends, hang out, and have a good time, and come on back. You know, it's a little different than the NHRA scene. Everything's so serious there, and it's, everything's so secretive, and you don't talk to so and so and whatnot like that. And man, I love going to the boat races, and I love seeing McKenzie drive that thing because I think she's really doing a good job.
Yeah, she sure is, for sure.
We're having fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm going to touch back on the motorcycles a little again because I'm as much of a big fan of yours as I am. I'm a huge fan of Matt Smith's too, and I think there's a guy with an enormous amount of drive and dedication and will to win, and it must be infectious just being around him. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing but the checkered flag for that guy, eh?
He is. He's one of the hardest working guys I know. Him and Angie both. I don't know if you know, but Angie assembles all the engines. They're together 24/7 in that shop working on their stuff, and he's definitely dedicated. Yeah. And he's competitive no matter where you go. Like when we went to Las Vegas, we went to that Top Golf thing, and geez, oh Pete, man, the guy's trying to kill everybody. If you go kart racing, he's going to try to outrun you. He is that guy. And I'm going to tell you, man. Talking about people that are working hard and doing their own thing is Steve Johnson.
Oh, amazing! I'm having a fantastic year, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing really good. So what was really cool about that deal was he wins Charlotte on Sunday. He comes here, which we're close to Charlotte. We're an hour away from Charlotte. He comes here on Monday, and me and Kenzie built him a new exhaust pipe. And then he goes to Norwalk last week and qualifies #1 with it. So, that's for us, that's cool because we work with a lot of those guys. We work with Matt Smith. We build all kinds of stuff for him and Jerry Savoy and Steve Johnson. And, there's a lot of stuff we do. I mean, right now we're next week we got to go over to KB Racing over to Greg Anderson's and build some headers for those guys. So
yeah, very cool.
I mean, we're just blessed, man, to be able to do what we do and surround yourself with good, smart people. It's only going to make you smarter.
Yeah. I can see that, and you certainly are, and that's great. And I think you've created a lot of your own luck, though, if you ask me. But speaking on exhaust and going back to outboard drag boat racing, and I don't think that I'm the smartest guy in the world or whatever, but been around the stuff a little bit, and one of the hardest things for me to wrap my head around was the inefficiency of the exhaust of a 2.5 liter Merc, and you must just look at that and go, oh my stars, and I see some guys have played around with some different things and whatnot, but I don't know. You guys playing around with some stuff there, or?
No, not really. We haven't got that far along. I mean, I've seen some tuners, and we've looked at some stuff that we've considered trying to build, but like I said, it's
hard to find the time.
It's tough for us.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just me and Kenzie in the shop every day, all day, and trying to do all the stuff we want to do, and plus we have 2 horses, and we have cows and pigs and ducks, and a small farm here that we have to take care of every day, and then I have a wife that she likes to do projects around the house and trying to keep her happy, and if it was up to me, I would be in this shop 20 hours a day, which I am now, probably 15 or 16 anyway.
Yeah, but I get you.
Some days you just gotta not come out here,
Oh, I hear you 100%. And so, Kenzie, I guess growing up, when you were younger and your dad was racing at that level, did it, I guess to you it's just normal, but did you ever sit back and go, wow, like this is super cool, like I'm going around to NHRA drag races as a kid and my dad's on TV and he's a bit of a superstar, or was it just kind of like normal? Like, was that just what you knew? And
for a while it was normal. Probably when I got into middle school, I started to like realize the people that I got to talk to at the races, and then I'd like look up in the stands and I'm like, those people have no idea what it's like to be in the pits and like, talk to all these, famous people, really cool, smart people that nobody really gets a chance to talk to or get to know or anything. And I've learned now that like I am really blessed to know the people that I know and to get to experience just all different types of racing, and everybody that's at the track, they're always so nice to me and Dad.
For sure. Yeah.
I don't know, it's just really, really cool.
Yeah.
And it takes a while for me to like sit back and like, yeah, this is like so awesome that not a lot of people get to experience.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And so my daughter is 18 now, and she grew up around the racetrack too. And it was funny because when she was younger, my little guy was car nuts and racing nuts and whatnot. And Grace wasn't. She was into dance and she was into karate and she had some other interests. But she did spend every weekend at the racetrack, or a good chunk of them. And then, you know, but she didn't seem to really have too much interest. Then she got her driver's license around 16 and started taking interest. And then just last summer, she started racing herself. And we were doing some like no prep stuff with her, and we have a Ontario Street Outlaws kind of series up here, and she started racing last year, and she's hooked and she loves it. And she talks about the days being at the track as a kid, but it took her growing up a little bit to understand how cool those days really were. When she was there, she just kind of took it for granted. She admits that, you know, and now she's hooked. And so my son's hooked on the boat stuff. He's doing some stuff with me, and he wants to race my boat, and he will. The same thing when he's old enough legally to do that, then I don't mind taking a step back. So we're having a lot of fun with, you know, Grace doing the car stuff. So fortunately, her mom's still got a street legal Corvette that's relatively quick, and so Grace gets to race that, and we get the boats. But it's kind of cool to see that all come full circle. Like I say, you know, she didn't really seem to have the interest, but she sure does now, and it's really cool. So, you know, we got a couple races lined up this summer, trying to balance it out, you know, the boat stuff and the cars. But it's really cool, and it's fun to see, and it's fun. Chip, I get it, what you're saying. It's really cool to step back and watch. And I remember Grace, the first day that she ever, I remember the first day I ever went to, I think I was about a year before I ever won a round. You know, and I think Grace, the first race she ever raced in, went 3 rounds, you know, and then when she lost, she started to cry, and I said, dude, it took me a year to go around, and you just went 3. You got to stop crying. But anyways, yeah, it's super cool. That's super cool. So it's exciting to watch what you guys are doing. And
that's like us when we went to Rocks Pond. I mean, it was really rough that day, and we went out Friday night. It was rough. Mark, I'm telling you, it was rough and bumpy. And she never drove in nothing like that. I said, we'll just make some half passes and see how it feels. I said, you know, trust the boat a little bit. Don't overdrive it. Just trust it. And come Saturday, she won first round. I was like, no way. Then she won second round. Yeah. Then she won third round. Then she's in the catbird seat, you know, and it's like, holy crap. Yeah. And she's racing against the fastest guy there was Doug Sullivan, and he is probably one of the fastest guys in the 1,400-pound class in the country. And it was him and her in the finals. And in the first run they ran in the finals, he beat her by just a nose, you know. In the second run, he drug her in there a little bit, you know. It was her first race, so
sure, yeah.
You know, he got out on her a little bit in the commitment buoys and whatnot. But man, it's like, I didn't win no rounds my first race.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it took me a long time. You know, I remember when I first started racing heads up racing and like a 10-inch tire stuff up here. I think it was 2 years before I ever won a round. Like, it was crazy. But, anyways, guys, listen. So with this Zoom stuff, because I don't have a proper account or whatever, I think the meetings can only be 40 minutes long, and we're closing up on that. Time flies when you get talking about racing, doesn't it? So. But listen, man, you guys have no idea how much I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're all super busy, I really do, and the fact that you took the time to talk to me is awesome, and I really appreciate it. Looks like the borders are going to open up here, and you know, with the vaccinations rolling out and whatnot. Anyways, looks like there's a good chance that we're going to make Jasper, or I don't know what it's called now, but anyways, that race. So really look forward to meeting you guys and hanging out down there, and just doing some racing and talking in person. It's going to be cool. So thank you so much for this. Okay, I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And
thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark, for having Kenzie and I on there. And if there's anything we can do to help you, just let us know, man. We love your channel.
Appreciate it.
And when we get to Jasper, I'm going to show you some of the stuff I've learned from you watching your channel. Very informative, and your wiring is amazing. You keep on doing what you're doing, brother. And I know it's a lot of work, because you're like us. You work all the time, and then trying to do a YouTube channel and work on your boat and have a normal life. I appreciate it, and very, very informative, and you do some badass stuff.
Well, that means a lot, man. It means a lot. It really does. So again, I thank you guys. We're going to peace out here now, and again, looking forward to it, and thank you. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Thank you. We'll see you.
Take care, eh? Yeah, bye-bye.